the scene. You've been planning a trip for the last 3 months. You've just come back from somewhere absolutely incredible. You've walked those 20,000 steps every single day that at home seems absolutely impossible. You ate the most incredible food and you saw sights that you never thought you'd ever see with your own eyes. And now it's Sunday night, you've just gotten home, your bags are sitting there unpacked, they're absolutely full of dirty clothes, you've got no food in the fridge. Like, what are you even gonna have for dinner tonight, right? Like, and the worst part is you have to be in the office in less than 8 hours. And then you start to get this feeling and it starts to really settle on your chest. And if you work a full-time job and you're traveling in your annual leave, you will know exactly what I am talking about. It's not sadness, it's not anxiety about going back to work, but it's this real deflating and slightly disorientating feeling that you have, right? Because you've just experienced something incredible and now you're back to reality, right? You're back home, reality hits. I've felt it after almost every single trip I've taken. And and I just thought it was normal. I just thought it goes with the territory, right? It's like the price you pay for having a good time. And after traveling for a few years on my annual leave, so I'm an annual leave traveler, I have come up with some strategies that genuinely, they help me, and they're practical. And I'm gonna go through them today with you. 7 items that we can try and implement that will hopefully kind of reduce that Monday morning dread after you've just come back from home. Okay, so but before I get into the strategies, I want to talk about why this happened, because I think if we have an understanding of why, like, it might help us with the implementation of the solution. So there's a common misconception that the post-holiday dread that exists is because we hate our jobs, and that's not necessarily true. We're not lazy, we're not ungrateful, Of course, a lot of us would just love to travel the world and never have to work, or, travel the world as work. But it is not the reality for probably 99% of us. The cause, though, is, in my opinion, is quite specific. And there's like a level of contrast that we're feeling. It's the novelty of it. So if you think about when we travel, right, our brain, it is switched on. And every moment, every place we go, like, it's new to us. And so there's that real novelty. We're constantly making decisions, okay? Where are we gonna go next? Where are we gonna eat? What side are we gonna see? Which road do I turn down? Like, honestly, like, our brains are just on, and there's novelty and there's a dopamine hit, right? So our brain loves it. For me anyway, like, my brain loves it. It's like it gets a little bit addicted to the dopamine hit of, seeing something new, learning something new, eating something new. So there's this part of travel that makes me feel really, really alive, right? So, like, we're just operating in this constant state of discovery, foods and sights and smell. I love it. I just love it. And then you come home and it's, the same desk, the same lunch, the same commute, the same people. It's just so same. So the contrast between all that new and exciting stuff and just the constant daily stuff, there's a massive contrast there, and it can feel uncomfortable to come back to that reality. So here's what I found helpful about knowing this, about kind of working this out. It's not that I hate my job. I actually really, really enjoy my job. The first tip that I'm going to give you took me a very, very long time to work out. And I only worked it out because, look, to be honest, I was coming back from a trip, and if I flew back on the Friday, I was paying hundreds of dollars less for my airfare. So, and that was because there was a low-cost carrier that flew on that day, where then the Saturday and the Sunday was just, full service carriers. And so it was much, much more expensive. On this one particular trip, I came home early, and it was probably the best thing I'd ever done. Now, I know this one's really hard to implement because, especially say someone like me living in Australia, I live so far away, it takes me so long to get somewhere. I really want to maximize every single day that I can. I only get a limited amount of days off per year, and I want to make sure that I'm using every single one of them. I know this one is going to be hard for some people to implement, and I get that. I 100% get that. But if you fly home late on a Sunday and then you're trying to get up and go to work on a Monday, like, that's just brutal. Like, it's so... I feel like you're being mean to yourself, right? It is, it's brutal. You're jet lagged, your bags are still packed. Like I said before, there's nothing in the fridge. It's just it's brutal. My first tip is whenever possible, and I know like if it's a long weekend or whatever, okay, fair enough. You don't really want to lose any day on a long weekend, but if you're going away for a couple weeks, come back a day early, and then that gives you time on that Sunday to transition back into your normal everyday. And it just doesn't, it kind of makes that Monday morning dread seem a little less dreadful. It feels less intense coming back on Monday morning when I've had time to get back to my normal routine. Second thing that I have done is, kind of building end of holiday ritual. So when I get back, I give myself time, and I give myself time to kind of delineate the holiday to reality. And then the next thing I do is I go through my photos. And when I say I go through my photos, it's not like a scroll. It's deliberately, I will go through all of my photos and I will have a look at them. I will, reminisce on that moment. I will think about what happened in that moment, and I will actually, really take the time to enjoy each of those moments from that holiday through my photos. Now, then, I have been a memory keeper for over 20 years, scrapbooker, like I love doing all that stuff. Back your photos up, please. At this point, when you get home and you start looking at your photos, back them up. You do not want to lose any of those precious moments. And then after that, I grab a piece of paper and I write down 3 memories from the holiday that I really want to remember. I'm not talking about a lot of time here. I'm talking about just spending 5 minutes after you're reviewing your photos. You're like, I really want to remember this about this point or this about that. Write it down, because you want to turn those moments into memories for you. And you kind of don't want your holiday to suddenly just, be stopped. You want to acknowledge that memory and give it space in your brain, basically. And writing down a memory will help with that. And then, as sad as it sounds, I do actually get myself prepared for the following day. So I will get my clothes ready, I'll lay them out, I will organise my lunch, I will do as much as I can the night before, so that on Monday morning there's a lot less friction in my brain. Okay, so the next one, and as obvious as this sounds, not everyone does it, but please do not check your emails until you actually get back to work. Nothing that you can read on that Sunday night will change by the time you arrive into work the next morning. So you don't need to prepare yourself in advance, ready for the onslaught of emails. Like, just wait, just don't do it. Mentally, you need the break. That's why you're having a break. That's why you're going away and seeing stuff. Protect your time. You've literally earned it. So protect your time away from work. So the next strategy is to have something small planned for the week that you get back. Now, I'm not talking about another trip. I'm not talking about like anything massive and significant. It's just something to get you through those first few days. So it could just be something simple, like organizing a dinner with friends. If you want to have a movie planned on the weekend to go and see, or if you want to go for a day trip on the following weekend, just having something little in the first week that you get back from a big trip, it can actually give you something small to look forward to. And sometimes that's enough. You're stepping back on that hamster wheel. You're stepping back on that hamster wheel. So you do need to give yourself something to look forward to. So just something little. So the next thing is, allow yourself to have big feelings. There's no shame in that. And look, I wish I realized this earlier, because I thought I can't be sad. I've just come back from this amazing holiday, and then you feel guilty because you think to yourself, I shouldn't be feeling like this. I should be happy. I should be, grateful. I should be all of these things. So why am I sad? Well, you can be sad because, you've spent months looking forward to this trip. You've gone on that trip. And now, you kind of feel like you're at a bit of a loose end now that it's finished. Allow yourself those feelings. Don't feel like you need to suppress them. So the 6th strategy is more of a philosophy rather than a strategy. And it's more about why, the crux of why we travel. So if you are traveling as a means of escape from your everyday reality, you will dread coming back to your reality. So the problem with framing travel as an escape, it means that, when you come home, like, it feels like you're defeated. Like, it's what was it good for? Like, I'm still here at the end of the day. So you have never really escaped. It's just you had a momentary reprieve of your ordinary life. So now when I travel, I'm traveling to find a deeper part of me in a way. So I'm trying to bring back new perspectives. I'm trying to bring back, different ways of looking at things. It's like a deeper understanding of how people are living their lives in other parts of the world. I'm trying to, really think about the tastes and the things you eat. And so I'm trying to change me by traveling. So when I come home, I feel like I've gained so much more. There's no defeat there. It is more of a mindset shift that you have to have. It's not escaping, it's, becoming a better version of you, however that looks, or however you want that to look. So the 7th strategy is start thinking about your very next trip. Now that could just be you thinking about, look, I really enjoyed this part of this particular trip and I want to explore that more by going to a country that, might be similar, might be different. All of these type of things, like what location. You might want to come home and just throw a dart at a map and then see where it lands and choose to go there. Like, you could do that. But if you start thinking and start preparing for your next trip, then it feels like, you've got something to look forward to. Because, I'm sure there's studies, I haven't researched this, but I'm sure there are studies that say that when people are planning a trip, when they're preparing for a trip, that's actually when they're the happiest about the trip. So when you have something to plan and to look forward to, you are happier than apparently any other point, including being on the trip, which can sometimes be true because sometimes being on the trip is stressful. Start planning your next trip. That is the final strategy. Just to recap, the 7 strategies are come back a day early if you can. Number 2 is to build your post-holiday routine in order to get back into your normal routine, everyday life. Number 3 is do not check your work emails. Come on, leave them alone. They're not going anywhere. They're not. Number 4 is to have something little planned for when you come back. So movie, dinner date, whatever. Number 5 is to Number 5 is to allow yourself to feel the feelings you're feeling. Number 6 is to reframe travel as something that fuels you, not something that you actually need to escape from. And number 7 is, of course, start planning the next trip, Even just sometimes dreaming about your next trip really does help stop you dread that Monday morning return to work and return to the office feeling that you have. So Monday morning is coming regardless of whether you like it or not, but it does not have to feel like it's the end of something. Remember, we need our jobs to pay for the next holiday. So do not go in dreading Monday morning and do something rash like quitting your job, booking a one-way ticket and never coming back. As much as we love that, we can't do that. That's not reality. So anyway, I hope this video has helped. If it has, I don't know if you want to like it and subscribe, do whatever you want to do. You've got free will. And look, and I'll see you in the next one.